YouTubers, Mike Martins here with the Mike Martins channel. Thanks for joining us. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Thanks for subscribing and being part of the channel. All right, guys, we got an article here that was thrown together, really nicely written by the True North, and it goes over with links in its description discussing direct confirmation of what has happened and what transpired. Now, here it is. Every time Canada has insulted or degraded Canada on the world stage. Now, let's look at this. This is really, really nice, and I want to throw this, it's by our friends over at True North. Go and check them out. Now, there are links to every notion that's mentioned here, or every insult that has been thrown has a link to it. So let's go right to the bottom and work our way up, and we could cross-reference with some of the articles that we've been reading here on this channel for years. Here we go. September 6, 2016. China refers to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as a little potato. Well, you know, Mr. Potato Head, we live in a world now. This was thrown in 2016, this insult. But now we live in a society where the masses are so worried about the gender of a plastic potato. So what happens in 2016? Well, what does Canada do in response? Canada wants more Chinese workers and students and tourists. And there it is right there, 2016. There's your date right there. And how many? 500,000 per year. And they always give you links to Canada's immigration. This doesn't, foreign investing money, laundering money through Canada does not show up on Canada's immigration status, whatever. This is considered another form. It's called investment. It's not really considered, you know what I mean, right? So there it is. There it is right there. All right, let's get back to the articles. They call him a little potato. Potato. December 6, 2017. China's foreign minister attacks Canadian reporter for asking about human rights. You don't ask China about human rights. You never discuss that to China. So anyways, what's happening with that? Well, here it is. There's the link to it if you guys want to see it. And what can I throw in there from that year? Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. And where's the money laundering coming from? China! Look at all the provinces broken down, unfortunately, are. What does the Liberal government do in response? They shut down the money laundering investigation! Unfortunately, we only got $200 billion laundered, and we know this is money laundered into real estate because it's not your typical integrated layering process that the mafia usually does the right way and actually pays taxes on that money and actually funds the infrastructure. All right, so let's keep going here. So what do they say next about this? What's going on? So let's move on. January 9, 2019, China accuses Canada of white supremacy. Okay, there's one tiny, itsy-bitsy problem here. China shouldn't be saying that. Because if you go to any, government place or government, center here or get something done, majority of the people working there are from China. They're Chinese. A lot of people have heavy accents. They're hard to understand at times. And why would China even say that? I go through Canada Customs when I'm coming home from an overseas vacation. A Chinese person stops me and puts me through immigration. So why would they say that? Why would they I don't understand. You go to any bank, almost any banking institution right now in any major city, a majority of the people working there are Chinese. So I'm not sure why China will accuse Canada of white supremacy. It makes no sense at all. We even have signs in Chinese only in Canada. It makes no sense. I'm not understanding why China is attacking Canada. So here it is. Now let's move over to April 22nd, 2020. Embassy spokesperson claims Canadian-led open letter is malicious slander. So this is a so-called open letter falsely claimed that the roots of the pandemic are... So again, they're going into pointing the finger on who started this whole fiasco. So let's move over. So what happened then around that time? Chinese real estate investors wary of Vancouver head to Toronto. So you're probably thinking, well, this should be good, right? It blew up the housing market sky high because Vancouver put in the foreign buyers tax, and look what happened to Seattle. California, here we come. So there it is. So what is happening? What is happening in this country? So, okay, let's go back to May 6, 2020. Chinese Communist propaganda outlet says Canada has a giant baby mentality. Well, here it is. Canada, birth tourism rising fast in Canada, up 13% in 1 year. Now, okay, let's discuss the birth tourism story that I have. A lady came to bury her, I think it was her uncle, because the father lives in, so a lady came from Portugal, she was pregnant, she came to bury this is in 2018, 2019, to come and bury a family member, and then go back to Portugal, and have her baby, because the baby wasn't due for another, she was accused of coming to have birth tourism in Canada, that she's not welcome there, and if she does have the baby in Canada, she'll be escorted and put on a plane like all the other Portuguese were in 2006, 7, 8, and 9. Mass purging of Portuguese families in Canada with children born and raised in Canada, some of them 15, 18, 20 years old, deported. Out! So, birth tourism only works for specifics. So if you're watching this thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Canada and have a kid, that's not going to work. Depending where you're from. So, birth tourism rising fast, 13% in 1 year in Canada. Toronto, Canada's reputation, a hotspot for birth tourism, is rising fast, with new data reporting 13% increase in 1 year. Faster immigrant rates, faster overall population of Canada. So, is this the migrants that were flying in and staying in hotels? I remember when my daddy came to Canada, he had to pay off his plane tickets to come to Canada to work here in the construction industry. He had to pay his plane tickets off to family members, right? And not only that, is he had to work his butt off to pay off his house and to put food on the table, right? It's very different. Now, people are getting flown in from select countries, of course, and they're being put up in hotels, but this doesn't count under that birth tourism, under that sect of people. The immigration in Canada is messed up. It's really messed up. So it's really hard to kind of put your finger on the pulse on what's going on. So there it is, birth tourism. So they want to call him a baby. So what else? October 28, 2020, China says Canada supports anti-human Falun Gong cult. Falun Gong, I don't even know what this is. Accusation of China's freedom of religious beliefs. Oh yeah, they're persecuting. So what can we throw in there? Canada mortgage debt passes 80% of our GDP for the first time. So I was on some Toronto real estate show. I said 85% of mortgage. I meant to say mortgage debt, but 80% of the GDP is 85% in Australia. I kind of got that mixed up. So how did this happen? Well, it's not that Canadians are pushing up prices with low interest rates and FOMO. FOMO needs to be there so they can but they can't get first-time homebuyers in the market. Woo! Unless they come in and they're labeled as Canadians, I guess. They're labeled or they're Canadian or something. I don't even know how that works. But just don't say you're Portuguese, though. And that's what's happening there. Let's keep going.
We couldn't run an ad that said no Portuguese, but no Portuguese.
All right, guys, it looks like I missed an article here, so let's keep going up. Let's do January 12th. China accuses Canadian media of attacking and smearing. Some Canadian media have taken, okay, then it goes back to this COVID, and then China gives orders to Canadian media over Hong Kong positions. So what has China been doing to the West? Truly terrifying. Chinese suppliers flood U.S. and Canada with deadly fentanyl. Synthetic marijuana's fentanyl factories owned by the Chinese Communist Party themselves, and they're flooding, destroying our youth, and this goes way back to 2016. It's been happening for years. I forgot to add that article in there, guys. I'm really sorry. I meant to put it on the first reading I did to kind of do a comparison side by side. So let's keep going. Chinese embassy demands Canadian media promote Chinese interests. This was really recently. What's been happening is let me explain towers. They built a condo tower in Vancouver. If you want to buy that tower, you would actually have to go to Shanghai to the sales office in China to inquire about buying a condo unit inside Canada, like in Canada, but you have to go to a different country to apply for that. So this is really interesting, and we have been promoting Chinese interests since 2010. Heavy since 2010. Heavy Devi. You guys would not believe how Canada is so proud of China and loves China. So I don't understand A majority, again, of government workers, like a lot of them could be working in HR. So you would go to the Parks and Recreation Service. You have 80 engineers working on the ground level in the park services in Vancouver. Then you have 590 people working in the HR to manage those people at the bottom. So it doesn't make any sense, but they're getting the jobs, right? In February 23, China condemns the House of Commons Uyghur Genocide Declaration. So we can't say anything. March 2nd, 2021, China state outlets call Five Eyes Alliance axis of white supremacy. Again, they're going to keep pushing this agenda. This keeps going on and on. This is from True North. You guys look it up. Every time China has insulted or degraded Canada on a world stage. Guys, I'm making this video to stand up for Canada because the idea of Canada, I think, was a fantastic idea on paper, but unfortunately, due to unscrupulous and really bad political morals by our leaders, have defamed or destroyed the Canadian way by dealing with communists. We're not supposed to deal with communists. Do you know what happened back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s? If you had some sort of report or dealing with communists, or you've been giving information to a communist country, they put you in a dark room with a big spotlight on your face and ask you crappy questions. Even though you may be innocent, but they would ask you a bunch of crappy questions. Why are you working with the commies? What do you have? What's your agenda with them? What do you plan on infiltrating? That was back in the days when people cared about their freedom, liberties, individualities, and building. So building now is out of reach. Canada and most U.S. states now are having a tough time finding first-time home buyers. Texas is turning into California. Amerifornia is coming, like I said. And it's all due to these liberal, cesspool, bizarro policies that are put in place and really changing the idea of what Canada should be. And America is on its way too. America was put on pause for 4 years during the Trump administration because he was the only one that stood up to China. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I love you guys very much. This is not an attack on the Chinese. This is an attack on the Chinese policies and leadership to grow up. Grow up. It's got to be a two-way street when it comes to, especially when Canada is an autonomous region of China and Australia is on there too. It's like, you know what? I'm proud. I live in Canada. I love the country. I love the idea of it. But where has it gone? Comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I love you guys very much. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Lots of love.